Ladies and gentlemen, we bid you welcome to the Provo City Library at historic Academy Square, here in celebration of the White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2026. I would like to take this moment to recognize a few people of importance here, not the least of which is the president of our university, pardon me, Dr. Cameron Martin. Also on the stand with us here, to my left, is Dr. Tyler Summer, the chair of the Physician Assistant Department and the director of the Physician Assistant Program. And to his left is Dr. Lauren Stanford, the director of Didactic Education. My name is Dr. Jonathan Baird. I will be your host for the evening, whether you like it or not. We recognize that there are many here who have come from far and wide to share in this day, and we say thank you and hope that you will enjoy your time here. It is obvious to me why I think we might be able to consider this our 10th cohort as also the most handsome cohort of all the ones that we've had, and clearly the apple has not fallen far from the tree. You all look wonderful. We'll begin our program today hearing from Dr. Cameron Martin, our university president. A little bit about him that you should know. He became the second president of Rocky Mountain University of Health Professions in January of 2023. Before becoming president, he worked as vice president of operations and chief of staff of the office of the president at RMU. Now, prior to RMU, President Martin was the vice president of university relations at Utah Valley University and the associate commissioner for economic development and planning for the Utah system of higher education, among other positions in higher education spanning over 3 decades. He and his wife, Julie K. Martin, have 3 daughters and live in Provo, Utah. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Cameron Martin.
Thank you, Dr. Baird. Did you notice he had a little TIA when he was trying to remember my name? I have that effect on people, including my wife, no joke. Yeah, too soon, I think, to joke about that. Some of you know we actually leave for Cleveland tomorrow morning for her to see a specialist, but somebody who sat in the seats where you're sitting now years earlier, who celebrated their experience, their training, and now is blessing lives. So I look forward to the lives that you will bless on your journey. So congratulations for being here. This is amazing. Will you do us all a favor, though, real quick? Because today is about you and celebrating what you've done, but you haven't done it alone. If you haven't noticed, this room's filled with people who love you and who have been supporting you. Would you stand, I know you're not graduates, but the white coat recipients, and just give a heart-warm welcome thank you to those who are here in support of you. Stand up, let them hear your appreciation. Come on. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure there's a few out there who have been helped finance here who are woohoo too, because you're almost there. Self-sufficiency, all right? Well, this is a milestone. This is a great moment in your experience, in your continued educational journey to be prepared to enter into your career and to really just go and bless the lives of so many. Now, at this point, this is a point of inflection, an inflection point, a point of celebration. But it's a point that I would like you to remember and reflect on a few things. And don't worry, it's not a long list, but I do have 5 things I do want you to remember, all right? You're RMU students, you can remember 5 things. The first one is I want you to remember why you're here. Why it was you chose this path forward. Why it was you chose, I want to be a PA. And to remember that, reflect on that. Reflect on it periodically, particularly on those hard days, all right? Just remember it. Second, remember what it's like to be a patient. Now, it may be the 20th person you see in the day, but that's their first time seeing you. And they need to be seen by you, not just physically, but to see them, to meet them, right? So remember what it's like to be a patient, because you remember the doctors and the nurses and the physical therapists and the physician's assistants. You thought I wasn't going to go there. I was getting there. The PAs who have blessed your lives. In fact, my wife and I see our PAs more often than anybody else in our healthcare journey, and they've blessed our lives. So remember what it's like to be a patient. Third, I would like for you to remember in those times when you're going to like, oh nuts, what do I do here? Just stop, breathe, and remember your training. Trust your training. There is another group here that deserves your appreciation, and that is your faculty. Would you let them hear your appreciation right now? Let's hear it. Remember your training, and in those moments like, what do I do? Stop and go back through the process, the protocols, and just remember what it was that they taught you, and then how to approach situations that you may not know the answer to. And just learn how to discover those answers with your patient, with the other people that you'll be working with. So trust your training, all right? So you got the first three. Remember your why. Remember what it's like to be a patient. Remember your training and trust it. And the third is remember to say thank you and to be kind. Sometimes we rate our healthcare professions by their bedside manner. That's just code for, were they very kind? Did they listen to me? Did they remember what it's like to be a patient? Did they remember why they got into this gig to begin with, right? So remember to say thank you. I don't know, there's just a few of my healthcare persons who have assisted us in our life, who've taken the moment to see us and say, thank you. Thanks for being here. You'll make a difference by being a kind person, one who thanks the people that they have the opportunity to serve. Now, the fifth thing, it's not a hard one, but it's to remember the mark in our logo, right? The shield. Remember that that's your hand in it. Do you see the hand? That's your hand. That's your hand there, right? To help you remember that you now fly the banner, are branded with, and add to the narrative of Rocky Mountain University of Health Professions. We have trained that hand. We have trained that by touching your heart and your mind. In your mind, we have taught you to embrace the education, to improve, to do all that you can do to advance the quality and efficacy of healthcare through the knowledge you've gained, but also through your heart, to learn to love and lift those in need. That hand is there, lifting, supporting you and those you will serve. And what it means, you've heard me say, to love and lift. To love someone is to see them for who they are, meet them where they are, and to hear what they have to say, to listen to them. Then to lift them through the skills that you recall and you remember and you trust that you've gone through this gauntlet of learning and knowledge and still will go through yet more to know how to lift them appropriately. All for the purpose of why we exist as an institution is through you and the other graduates of this institution to improve the human condition of the many, one patient at a time. I congratulate you on your journey and your success to this point. I'm excited to hear the tales that you will return and tell and share. But know this, we're with you. We continue to be with you. We'll always be with you because we do believe in you. That's why you're here. And congratulations on this momentous occasion and point of celebration in preparation for the next step in your career journey. Thank you.
It will now be our pleasure to hear from a member of the class of 2026, Ashton Hatfield. He hails from Morgan, Utah, and attended Utah Valley University, where he graduated with a degree in exercise science. Ashton has experience in internal medicine, where he worked as a medical assistant before starting PA school. He loves the outdoors, and especially loves hunting, hiking, mountain biking, and spending time with his wife and 3 children. Please welcome with me, Ashton Hatfield.
Good afternoon, everyone. President Martin, thank you for your remarks, and thank you, everybody, for being here. As mentioned, my name is Ashton Hatfield, and it's a privilege to address all of you today. I am humbled to be here and to have been nominated by my classmates, and I'm slowly creating a hit list of each one of them that nominated me so that I can find them out. Just kidding. All jokes aside, I'm really grateful to be here, and it's an honor and a privilege. I wish that I had the time to convey to each of you just how amazing my classmates and faculty members are. They really are amazing, and I could talk for hours, but I'll spare you guys. But to all the family and friends here in the room, thank you, and we're glad to have you here. As mentioned, we know that some of you guys have traveled from far away, from out of state. So for those of you who have, welcome to Utah. And before I say anything else, I would like to just say that my classmates, whether they're your sons, your daughters, your spouses, your friends, whatever the relation, they are amazing people, and you should be extremely proud of them for arriving to this point in their lives and in their educations. We do still have a long way to go in our journey, but the simple accomplishment of arriving to this point has been no small feat. We've all sacrificed countless hours and months and even years to get to this point, and we've all made significant sacrifices. So congratulations to my classmates, and thank you for the family and friends who have allowed them to get to this point. I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge and thank our amazing faculty members as well. They are extremely patient with us, no matter how many times we have to ask them to explain how the blood from the arteriovenous anastomosis supplies the venous plexus for thermoregulation. So, thank you. They are constantly reminding us to trust the process, and little by little, I'm seeing the genius in their reminders, and I'm seeing how their careful and thought-out planning is shaping us into competent future clinicians. Even as we have our practice patient encounters, I can hear the words of John in my head saying, "Give the patient the first 60 seconds," and things like that. So their wisdom, they all have a lot of wisdom, and we appreciate it, and we acknowledge them. I would also like to congratulate them on selecting such a tight-knit and cohesive cohort. In a way, it feels like what started out as a cohort is evolving to what feels more like a family. And I know that it was intentional and that they selected each of us because they knew the different attributes that we had and the ways we could contribute. And speaking of family, family is something that has been on my mind a lot lately, and my classmates will understand the reasoning behind that. But for many of us, our families are the reason that we are here, and they are the motivation behind all the sacrifices that we have made and continue to make. They are the ones who listen to our crazy dreams about becoming PAs and sacrificing years to go to school and beating the odds to get accepted into a program in what's a very competitive process. They are the ones who listen to us late at night ranting about how this next exam might be the end of us, and how if we have to memorize the mix-af of one more medication, our heads might just explode. So thank you for putting up with us. Thank you for letting us practice and for your constant support. I especially want to thank my family, my wife, who is at home with 3 children, and I recognize her sacrifice, and I know that all of our classmates recognize and are grateful for the sacrifices that their families are making. So On my behalf and on behalf of my classmates, thank you to everybody and for your support. Despite how supportive our families are and how amazing they are, they will never quite understand what we go through MPA school like our fellow classmates will. We are the ones who are in the trenches with each other, and we are the ones who only truly understand what we're going through in this process. Not only do we help and support each other, but we also hold each other to a very high standard. And on any given day, the person sitting to the right or to the left of me just might be the person who is treating me or one of my family members in the future. And so it is in our best interest to help each other be the best providers that we can be. And I appreciate the high standard that we hold each other to, even when it requires me to stand up here in front of all these people. So thank you, guys. I'd like to talk briefly about the significance of the white coat, and which is part of the reason that we're here today. The donning of the white coat symbolizes a milestone in the acquisition of knowledge and the honing of our medical skills. However, as John would affectionately like to remind us, all of us right now are scaling our way towards the summit of Mount Stupidity. And some of us have perhaps already made it there, only to have fallen off of the steep precipice on the other side that leads to the Valley of Despair. And for those in the audience who don't understand the references, I'm referring to the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is a cognitive bias that occurs when people overestimate their knowledge in regards to a specific subject. And it's a humble reminder that in all things, but especially in medicine, the more we learn and the more we know, the more we realize that we actually don't know, and that it's a continual process of evolving and continuing education. So let us not be discouraged by this, but rather let's take the growth mindset that our faculty have instilled in us and continue growing and evolving as future clinicians. And as we do so, we'll continue to progress on our journey through the Valley of Despair and on towards the summit of Mount Enlightenment. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the history of the PA profession. As we've learned about the history, I've been impressed by the countless people that have broke the existing mold and that have risen to the occasion to become competent healthcare providers for our country. The history of our profession is full of pioneers. And one powerful example that comes to mind is Joyce Nichols. In 1970, she became not only the first female physician assistant, but the first African-American female physician assistant. I could go on about her amazing story, but the point that I would like to make with her example is that she was a first. And the history of our profession is filled with people who did amazing things and who were the first to do those things. My classmates and our faculty have embraced a little bit of a mantra to not become the third, and they'll understand what I'm talking about. You can ask them about that later. But I'd like to make a proposal to my classmates that rather than simply focusing on not becoming the third, that each of us strive to go on and to be the first in accomplishing great things for our profession and for our patients. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ashton. We'd like to take a moment as a faculty and do what comes natural to us. We want to teach. We want to help all here understand why these ones are here. We want to explain the core philosophy behind our program here at Rocky Mountain University. And I think you will see why, clearly, these folks are here today because of that. If it's all right, may I invite some of my colleagues to join us up here? And as they make their way up here, I'll just briefly introduce Brad Dahl, Dr. Amber Collins, Dr. Brian Nelson, Kristen Sherman, and Dr. Lauren Stanford.
I'll start off with the first. So respect for all individuals is the first value. It says we respect all individuals and embrace our differences. We recognize, appreciate, and value diverse individual and cultural perspectives within the program, healthcare, and society. We regard each individual as an equal member of the human family and endeavor to serve each with compassion, concern, and diligence. So respect in our program is foundational to how we approach education. Being compassionate medical provider is essential to create the best environment for true healing and should be standard of care. Therefore, in the program, we seek to foster an inclusive and supportive learning environment where diversity is embraced and learners are able to share ideas, ask questions, and grow. We encourage open communication, collaboration, diligence, and mutual understanding, which ultimately will enhance patient care in the future. Emphasizing respect helps prepare students to value their future patients and colleagues regardless of background, identity, or experience. Respect ensures that learning is enriched by the collective wisdom and varied perspective within the medical community.
Innovation in education. We strive to be forward-thinking and promote a culture of innovation. This guides our approach to PA education, which prepares students to succeed in the face of evolving professional and educational demands. These are not just fancy words we say to sound pretty. We strive to embody these values every day. Are you aware of some of the recent innovations in our PA program? Let me highlight a few. Earlier this year, we enhanced instruction in women's health, established a clinical education fund to offset the costs of clinical rotations, adopted a student EHR, and upgraded processes within our standardized patient program. Change can be hard, but you know, the growth mindset thing, it's kind of what we do.
So, growth mindset. So we embrace growth mindset, encompassing the learning and progress resulting from perseverance through challenges and failure. We strive for improvement through personal reflection, learning from mistakes, and embrace constructive feedback. So what is growth mindset? And I've told the students this before, so I've been a PA for 17 years, and that makes me feel old. And over those years, one might ask, like, how have you learned? How did you learn medicine? How did you learn your craft? And I've told the students this before, but I told them that I just keep looking stuff up. I keep looking it up again and again and again until I don't have to look it up anymore. And regardless of our starting point, high achievement arrives through grit, repetition, and determination as we dedicate ourselves to a goal. As an example, if a student were to come into my office and say that they did poorly on an exam, I would quickly point out to them that it doesn't tell me where they're at in the future. It just tells me where they were at when they took the exam. It doesn't tell me where their knowledge is going to go in the future. And growth mindset means that our skills, knowledge, and capacity and intelligence never have an endpoint, and our potential for excellence is not fully realized. And we hope, as faculty, that our students see that in themselves.
I've only been practicing for 10 years, but I'm still old, so pardon me. High expectations. We maintain high expectations for academic learning and professional behavior. We encourage commitment to lifelong learning and professional growth. The Oxford Dictionary defines expectation as a strong belief that something will happen or will be true in the future. One reason we chose this as a fundamental program value is to honor the patients and families that you will care for in the future. Let me also state clearly that perfection is not listed in our values. Perfection is the state or quality of being free from flaws or defects. Our values do not include the expectation of perfection. because perfection does not require growth or learning. Our expectation is that you will work hard to seek lifelong learning opportunities. Sometimes these are failures. Sometimes these are successes. Our expectation is that you will see both as essential to your unique development. Our expectation is that you will seek to adopt behavioral attributes that will serve you and your patients in your professional life. The relationship between patient and medical provider is a shared sacred space. And I think we all take that very, very seriously. Therefore, please know that your faculty too have high expectations of ourselves as we work alongside you to prepare you to enter this space.
Think and teach. We emphasize the importance of always thinking about the patient, and we continually study and train to provide evidence-based and compassionate patient care. Students and alumni are encouraged to seek opportunities to teach future generations of healthcare providers, including in the classroom and in the clinic. Healthcare is at its best when the patient and the provider are on the same page. At the conclusion of an office visit, the most important thing the patient will walk away with is a knowledge and understanding of what is expected of them and why. And it is your responsibility to take the time to think and to teach your patient in a way that is clearly understood. When a patient truly understands why they are asked to do something, they are more likely to comply with treatment. If the patient complies with treatment, you both win, and you will gain the trust of the patient. Not only is it important to teach your patients, but it is equally important to give back and teach those who are walking in your footsteps. We owe a debt to the educators, preceptors, and supervisors who have taken the time to share their knowledge and expertise with us. As a student and future alumni of RMU, it is expected of you to give of your time, knowledge, expertise, and experience to those who follow, just as has been done for you.
Respect, innovation, growth mindset, high expectations, thinking about patients, teaching, RIGHT. We like to say that we do things the right way. We admitted you into this program because we felt you embodied these values, making you the right students for this program. And now we come to the portion of our program for which we are here. It's time for you to leave the world you know behind. It's time for you to put on a white coat, and with it the oath that comes with it. Here now to present to you the class of, pardon me, I had one thing I wanted to mention here and I almost forgot it. In thinking about this white coat ceremony, there's something you need to know. As you think back through the ages upon this, you'll have to stop at 1993, because that's when this started. This is not an old ceremony. But someday it will be, because it is the right thing to do. It dates back to Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons. It was the idea of Dr. Arnold P. Gold, and since then has become a rite of passage welcoming students into the practice of medicine. You'll note that these students are donning a slightly shorter white coat. This is to denote that they are in training, whereas the longer white coat is typically reserved for licensed professionals. With this coat comes an oath which we hope you will always recall every time you put this white coat on. an oath that was taken here in front of us, in front of your family and your peers, your friends, and which we know you took. This white coat that you put on now will serve to you always as a symbol, and will be a symbol to your patients of your commitment to their treatment with respect and with dignity. In that sense, it truly is a cloak of compassion. I'd like to call to the stage here our Director of Program Operations, Cecile Pryor, who will present to you the class of 2026 as they take upon them their white coat and oath. Following the donning, the students will take their oath, and it will be delivered by Ashley Johnson. Now, one thing you need to know is that many people would think that this is where you take the Hippocratic Oath, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, these students have worked for a semester in self-exploration of defining their highest and noblest values, and then went through the process of seeing the congruency that they share with one another. And it's based off of that congruency that they have formulated collectively their highest and noblest aspirations as people and as clinicians. And it is to that which they pledge themselves now. Now, something you should know about Ashley Johnson. She's from Oak Grove, Mississippi, and studied human development and Mandarin at Brigham Young University. Now, before attending Rocky Mountain University, she worked as a medical assistant in primary care. She enjoys music, running, and playing sports. Now, following this ceremony, we'll be pleased to hear a few remarks from the program director, Dr. Tyler Summer, who has been the PA program director at Rocky Mountain University since November 2021. Before that, he served as its associate program director and academic director for several years. He joined RMU in 2015 as one of the founding faculty members of the PA program. He's a board-certified PA with experience in neurosurgery, spine surgery, family medicine, and emergency medicine. He currently practices with the Volunteer Care Clinic in Provo. He earned a Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies from A.T. Still University of Health Sciences and a Doctor of Philosophy in Health Sciences, Health Promotion and Wellness from Rocky Mountain University of Health Professions. His research and scholarly interests reside in preventative care and longevity. During his time at RMU, Dr. Summer has served in several leadership roles and has been an integral part of the PA program's success, contributing to the program being granted accreditation continued status by the Accreditation Review Commission on Education for Physician Assistant in 2019. Following that, we will be adjourned and give you time to congratulate these, our graduates. Let me turn the time over now to Cecile Pryor.
Not as tall.
Gideon Iwowi. Colby Barron. Sarah Bluth Stapp. Lauren Broadhead. Georgia Brookstein. Carson Call. Kelly Campbell. Amanda Clark. Heidi Collins. Landon Cook. Dan Curtis. Liam Edgington. Haley Idoni. Dominique Elder. Taylor Fights. Kelsey Glassberg. Clarissa Greenewald. Ashton Hatfield. TJ Heap. Madeline Hodson. Stephen Hood. TJ Horn. Mark Horner. Holly Hunt. Ashley Johnson. Jones. Abby Linford. Katie McGregor. Kaylin McGuire. Brooke McEwen. Jennifer Well. Andrew Nilsson. Thomas Niles. Emma Radke. Mariana Ransom. Natalie Richards. Taylor Richardson. Mackenzie Ridley. Caden Robinson. Claire Seymour Passy. Sarah Shine. Josh Thompson. Tien Trung. Audrey Viso. Whitney Weaver. Grace Wang. Carly Williams. Dylan Ride. Elizabeth Wirch. Brianna Young. Congratulations.
Wow. Can I invite Sarah up? Excuse me, Ashley, please. Ashley. Unless Sarah wants to do it. I don't think so. Ashley, Ashley, just a reminder, is the class president. She was elected by her peers to be the class president, and we're excited to have her lead her cohort in the cohort's oath.
By way of introduction to our oath that our cohort constructed, I've been impressed by the unconditional mutual support and encouragement our class has exemplified. Our eagerness to rally together, offering time and resources to meet needs in and out of the cohort, sustains my faith in humanity and suggests a bright future in healthcare. To the faculty, thank you for fostering a culture that enriches our preparation for future practice. To our loved ones, thank you for shaping us into compassionate future providers. To our cohort, let us embrace our values as we stand together and state our oath, if you will rise. As the RMU PA class of 2026, we are dedicated to practicing medicine driven by genuine connection and care. We support each other through unity and collaboration while upholding the highest standards. Our patients through empathic listening, embracing diversity, and fostering a growth mindset. Finding joy in our community, we will celebrate each step as we strive to become the testimonies for those who we serve. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Ashley. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is not common for me to write down my thoughts. I usually speak without reading, but as the students can attest to, I happen to ramble quite a bit if I don't read. So for all of us, I will read today. So, what a truly special moment this is. To our students, their families, friends, and loved ones, thank you for participating today in this Rocky Mountain University PA Class of 2026 White Coat Ceremony. Today is filled with pride, joy, and excitement, not just for our students, but for all of you who have supported them along the way. It's a day where the significance of the white coat comes to life, symbolizing not only the transition into clinical training and education, but the beginning of a lifelong journey of service, compassion, and excellence in healthcare. To our PA class of 2026, you've made it to this milestone through hard work, perseverance, and an unrelenting commitment to your future patients. Each one of you brings a unique story from cities and small towns across our country. Despite that diversity of experience, you share a common goal: to serve, heal, and to make a meaningful difference in people's lives. You've only been here for a short time, a little over a semester now, and you've already faced many late-night study sessions, countless exams, and rigorous hours of preparation. Along the way, you've built friendships, discovered your strengths and probably some weaknesses, and pushed past your limits. Today marks a very important part of your journey. As you've donned your white coats today, I want you to remember what they represent. Yes, they signify your entry into the medical and clinical education fields, but more importantly, they embody responsibility, integrity, and trust. The white coat is a symbol of hope for your future patients. It's a reminder that every day you will have the privilege of standing by someone at their most vulnerable time, their most vulnerable and challenging moment, guiding them through that uncertainty, offering not just some medical expertise, but compassion and empathy also. From this day forward, you carry the trust of the communities that you will serve, and that trust is a sacred bond. There will be challenges ahead, no question. No one in this room expects this journey to be easy. In fact, the path ahead will test you in ways that you may not yet fully understand. You will face moments of self-doubt, fatigue, and even fear. But here's the beautiful part. Every challenge will help you grow, not just as a clinician, but also as a person. Each group study session, every exam, every patient interaction, whether real or simulated, each difficult case, and every tough decision will shape you into the healthcare provider you aspire to become. It will stretch your knowledge, build your resilience, and most importantly, strengthen your ability to care deeply for those that you serve. As you continue your didactic coursework and then later step into clinicals in hospitals and clinicals throughout the country and into communities, remember that learning never stops. Be humble in knowing that medicine is constantly evolving, and be confident knowing that you have what it takes to evolve along with it. Today is not just a ceremony, it's a call to action. You are stepping into a world that needs you now more than ever before. In a time where healthcare systems are strained, when patients are seeking more than just a diagnosis, but also human connection, you have the power to make that difference. Embrace this responsibility with excitement, with curiosity, and with passion. Know that every person you encounter, whether a colleague, a fellow student, a mentor, or a patient, is an opportunity for growth and for impact. You are part of the future of medicine. The compassion, energy, and knowledge you bring into this profession will shape the lives of thousands of people throughout your career. It will ripple through communities. It will even inspire others to follow in your own footsteps. As you wear your white coats today, take a moment to reflect on what brought you here. Your passion for helping others, your commitment to make a difference, and your unwavering support that you've received from the people besides you in this room, classmates, family, friends, spouses. To the PA class of 2026, we are proud of you. I speak on behalf of the entire faculty and staff of Rocky Mountain University when I say that we believe in you. We are excited for you, and we cannot wait to see the incredible healthcare providers that you will become. Congratulations on reaching this milestone in your journey. This is your moment. Wear your white coat with pride and go forward with purpose. The world needs you, and your future patients need you. Thank you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our white coat ceremony. For those of you that have traveled from out of state to be here with us in Utah, welcome to Provo. If this is your first time in Utah, you picked a very wonderful time of year to be here. I hope that you can enjoy some of the wonderful things that Utah has to offer while you're here. We're grateful that you're able to join us today. We invite you to enjoy some refreshments that are on this side of the room, and please travel safely home. Thank you so much.
this off.